never gets old. What is up? Welcome to the Friday Night Dive, everybody. How's it going? How are things? How is your weekend? It's Easter weekend, so if you celebrate that particular thing, there you go. You know, act accordingly. However, whatever that means to you. Yeah, me personally, I'm just going to enjoy the weekend. At least enjoy it the best that I can. It was kind of a rough morning, but you get over it. You make do. Everything's gonna be fine. So, how are you? How is things going? Let me know. It's not about me, it's about you, it's about all of us. And we got a lot to get into today. Or at least I'm gonna try and get into it, but maybe you know how it goes. A lot of times the show goes off the rails, and that's usually my fault, but it's my show, so it's fine. But if it doesn't go off the rails, then we might actually have ourselves a decent conversation. I don't know, but it's always fun to find out. So got my drink handy, my Jameson, and I am ready to have a sip. Ooh. And then, just in case I run out of this, you guys know that I'm very fond of telling you about how we must indeed save the rivers. And how do you do that? You drink a Coors Seltzer. That's how. Save them rivers. Every pack you buy, they donate 500 gallons of clean water to your local river. And considering we are still dealing with floods and shit, like we were last year as well as this year, March is not a good time in this particular region for us, evidently. So if it's gonna flood, the water should at least be clean. So let's. I'd rather it not flood anywhere, but if it's going to, I prefer it not to be disgusting, dirty river water. So let's clean those rivers up. Yeah. You know how I roll about that. All right. So we've got the ever popular Christy in the chat. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. You're having a song of ice. Okay, so Christy is drinking scotch, but it's a particular Game of Thrones brand of scotch. I believe it's Johnny Walker, and that one is a Song of Ice, and I've had a little bit of it, just a tiny bit, and it was delicious. So I am very envious of you over there. Quite enjoying. Oh. So you'll, those of you will remember or recall, if you were paying attention, there was no dive last week. And the reason for that being, I was busy, but also didn't have really anything of note to talk about. At least I didn't think so. I know I was supposed to do my whole WandaVision spoiler chat for an episode of Rome, but that did not happen. Frankly, I'm not sure when Rome is coming back, if at all. I might just merge the two shows that I have together. So you will come for the dive, you'll get a rant, and yeah, that'll be it. It's pretty much what I do anyway. So what, it just kind of, I was talking to producer Thomas about that, and it just kind of makes sense to combine the shows. So while you won't necessarily hear me in podcast form as frequently as, let's say, last season, you'll see me here doing my thing. But I'm not gonna say that I'm saying goodbye to Rome just yet. For the time being, this is what's gonna happen. And by now, all the WandaVision talk is pretty much out of everyone's system, I think, because now we've got a new show, which is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. And I'm not even going to go into it because I'm going to wait for all that to subside before we go into it, because there's a lot to unpack. So instead, tonight, we are going to unpack what's happening most relevantly. And that is the Snyder Cut. That's right. We're going to do it. We're going to talk about the Snyder Cut. I don't want to talk about Godzilla vs. Kong just yet, because that's still pretty fresh. Maybe next week. Maybe. But But yeah, I've got things to say about that. But I think before I do, I want to see that in a big screen. Now that I'm fully vaccinated and now that they are opening the theaters back up, I can do that. So we'll see how that goes. But we're gonna talk about the Snyder Cut, man. Yeah. So one, it's super long. It really is. But to me, it felt like, did it need to be 4 hours long? Probably not, but it was, and that's just the way the cookie crumbled. Um, if you're gonna give a director all the freedom in the world to release a version of a movie that he intended to make, and you're not really giving him a time limit, then why wouldn't he just kind of go off? He wants to get every single shot is important. That's what happens. Um, and I read today that even though this movie was 4 hours long, it still had deleted scenes. I can't imagine what he cut, but I will say this: I am one of the few out there that is a champion for Zack Snyder. I actually really enjoy most of his films. I think he's a visually superb filmmaker. But man, that dude loves to use slow mo. And in this movie, he just went, "Give me all the slow mo, and we'll figure everything else out later." So if you cut most of the slow mo, that's a good 30-minute chunk because that's how often he used it. Um, but jokes aside, this is a further proof that you need to just let a director do his or her thing. The studio, you have to just you just have to let them do it, because this was a bad example of a studio and a director butting heads, and their end result is disastrous because of what we got in the theaters. But even if you don't enjoy it, sometimes you just got to let the director do his thing. And this is proof that this movie that the director wanted to tell was a more cohesive story. Whereas the other version we got was just this Frankenstein's monster of two different things blended together, and the new director slash writer wanted to make it way too jokey, try to, dare I say, Marvelify it, and you just can't do that. They're not the same. And I know a lot of people nitpick the latest DC movies because of that. They think, well, why can't they figure it out? Marvel figured it out. Yeah, Marvel figured it out because they earned it. They and it was a gamble. Let me take you back to 2008 with Iron Man. That was only the start of the MCU by pure luck, because they didn't even know. And I'll tell you this, you might not know about this. That movie didn't even have a full script when they were shooting it. They were shooting it on the go. They were coming up with stuff along the way. Luckily, you have a master filmmaker, writer, director in Jon Favreau, and a good collaboration with people like Robert Downey Jr. and Jeff Bridges, where they could make a cohesive story out of all this. Not to mention the producer extraordinaire of Kevin Feige, the mastermind of the MCU. Sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle, and that was that. And they decided, hey, you know, since this worked, let's see what else we can do. So the MCU it just kind of by chance worked, just by chance. Whereas DC, they didn't have a plan from the get go at all. They just wanted a good Superman story, so we got Man of Steel. Now, could they have figured things out a little more cohesively after that? Sure, but they didn't know. They didn't know how. They didn't know what to do. They were seeing the success of the MCU. They thought we should try that, but they said we would have to establish a lot of characters really quickly, and they're already on an Avengers movie, so we have to like double time it. And it suffered. But through the suffering, I think we still got some good gems. I still maintain Man of Steel is a terrific film. Uh, the Ultimate edition of Batman vs Superman, I think, is pretty fantastic as well. It's not for everybody, but it's fantastic, and everyone loves Wonder Woman. You don't get that Wonder Woman without Zack Snyder's influence. I mean, he cast Gal Gadot. He produced the Wonder Woman film. You can praise Patty Jenkins all you want, and you should because she's a great director, but Zack and company laid the groundwork for that. All that being said, now there's a call that we should restore they're calling it the Snyderverse, and I don't like that. I don't like calling that the Snyderverse. I don't think that's correct. I don't think we need to think of it that way. I mean, is it what people mean is let's have the DC movies follow the formula that Zack set up. I get it, but we don't have to call it the Snyderverse because that's not what it is, and he had no intention of doing that. If so, then he would have directed Wonder Woman. He would have directed Iron Man or Aquaman. He would have directed the Flash coming up. You can have different directors. You don't have to follow. They didn't have a set plan at all. Zack had his own plan. And DC is so reactionary they didn't know how to which to follow. Mariana says it best. Sometimes when you blend two different things together, you get a giant great ape versus a giant atomic lizard. Also, don't make me defend Trash Whedon on this channel. If you defend Trash Whedon, that's all on you, bro. But you're not going to get me to... nope, not taking the bait. That's all on you if you want to do that. When a production company makes decisions and someone, no matter how trashy they are, get hired to wrap something up, so execs get paid. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people at fault, not just Joss. Not taking anything away from that. I'm just saying, having now seen what Zack put together for his version, and you all still may hate it. It's significantly better than whatever Whedon tried to do with what he was given. But you should get on that, Christy. But yeah, I warn you, it's still part 3 is you still got a lot to get through. But anyway, all that to say, what really I find fascinating about Snyder's Justice League is how much he was setting up for the other movies, not for himself, but for everyone else. Which is something familiar. We see that in the MCU. We see but that is usually directors will do that because again, Kevin Feige is right there going, okay, make sure you throw in something like this so that we need a tease for this other thing we got coming up. Zack just did it just to do it. He set up where Arthur Aquaman was going to go. He set up where we're going to go in this new Flash movie, which makes a lot more sense now that we know what Flash can do and what he is theoretically going to do in his solo movie. It makes sense. Whereas before in the theatrical version, we just go, Flash is just kind of there to be funny. Okay. And now you're telling us we might get like a time travel / multiverse a solo film. Why would they do that already? Snyder Cut shows us why. Also, huge setups for what was going to be Ben Affleck's solo Batman movie, which was gonna be him versus Deathstroke, and I was so excited for that. But then I was so upset when Ben, I get why he dropped out of it. I really do. Your health comes first. But man, Flash needs to be recast. Ezra Miller is not a hero. I completely agree with you, John. I completely agree with you. And it's not like, dude's career is not going to suffer even if he got recast from the Flash because he's still in those Fantastic Beasts movie, and that's that's a whole other conversation that I'm not ready to have, and I'm definitely not drunk enough to have that yet. So, what's up, Jeff? Hillbilly Scribs in the chat. Can Christopher Lloyd be the Speed Force's voice? Dude, I never realized how much I would really love to have that until now. So you're probably only halfway joking, but I'm not. Give me Doc Brown as the voice of the Speed Force. Oh man, I would love that. But yeah. So Snyder Cut to me felt like a better cohesive story all around for why we're bringing the team together. The villain's motivation, the appearance of Darkseid, which you're never going to hear me complain about. My God, and I didn't think we were going to get a live action Darkseid in a very long time. Never thought I'd see it. I think because I thought people they're not bold enough to go full Darkseid. And Zack Snyder says, "Hold my drink, I got you." And that was going to be the end of the movie was going to set up another Justice League movie, like where it was going to go. And there's a possible third movie of where it was going to go as well, but it's unfortunately, or maybe fortunately for everyone else, like we are not going to get Zack. Zack's not coming back. I mean, I know money talks, and the response for the Snyder Cut's been overwhelmingly positive to an extent. I would argue the fan reaction is very mixed, and it's still very much a toxic environment because nobody knows how to just let things go, and nobody knows how to just have a civil discourse online. So it is what it is. John says the last 30 minutes were just like all the people seeing. You know what, John? I will agree with you. The last 30 minutes of Snyder's Justice League, I went, I didn't need any of that. It's like I think I understand why you put that in, but I didn't need it. And it's not so much a spoiler anymore because it's well known with all the pictures online that he brings in Jared Leto to play Joker for like one scene in this movie. And finally we get like we didn't get this in Suicide Squad with Affleck's quick role and then Jared Leto playing Joker in that. I thought it would be really cool to get Leto's Joker and Affleck's Batman in a scene together because these are Oscar winning dudes. And yet the scene I got was in the Snyder Cut, and I did not like it at all. It was actually kind of dumb, at least for me. I was like, not into it, bro. Sorry, but and John, also there's John said he is a cult leader, and his handle on CB is cult. Well, actually, Leto is a cult leader, and he's a piece of shit. So yum. Anytime you want to throw in Leto in anything, I'm just like, nope, I'm out. I am out. I heard he's going to be in the next Tron movie as the villain, and I go, now I don't even want to watch that. I was so excited for another Tron movie, and now I'm nah. So anyway, ultimately, is the Snyder Cut worth a watch? Absolutely, I think it is. If you enjoy these characters, and if you enjoy seeing, if you enjoy a visual spectacle of a movie, yeah. And consider what it took to get this thing put out. It started with disagreements, and then it moved on to a tragedy, and then it moved on to further what we know now is more issues, more problems, especially on Ray Fisher's side of it. That's another thing. Ray Fisher, like, I thought he was the best part of the theatrical version of Justice League, even though they didn't give him much to do. And you see in this movie, like, he's the heart of the movie. And it just makes me sad that we didn't get that originally. And it makes me sad that we probably will never see him as Cyborg ever again because of, inner office issues. But, you know, but I'm still kind of reeling in the fact that we got to see Darkseid on screen, which brings me to this. There's more Warner Brothers news. So now Warner Brothers has decided that New Gods movie that Ava DuVernay was going to direct, that she co-wrote with Tom King, who's a very popular comic book writer right now. It's gone. It's scrapped. Not doing it. They also said the spinoff of Aquaman, the Trench movie that James Wan was going to produce, not direct, that's gone too. I'm okay with that. You don't need to make a movie about the Trench. You really don't. But New Gods, which is going to deal with the people, if Darkseid and his planet Apocalypse, and then their counterparts, the New Gods of New Genesis, Mr. Miracle, his relationship with Big Barda of the Furies, we were going to get Granny Goodness. We were going to get like all kinds of weird, crazy, old school Jack Kirby insanity. And Ava and Tom seemed really excited about it too. They spent like a year working on that thing, just the script. And now they scrapped it, which makes no sense because the reception for everything New God related, like Darkseid and everything on Apocalypse from the Snyder Cut, was positive. They're like, yeah, give us more of that. It was an easy segue into New Gods, and they scrapped it. They scrapped it because now they want to do a hard revamp or a reboot, whatever. They're gonna try and interconnect these characters once and for all. And I don't know how they're gonna do it. Are they gonna do it with the Flash movie? Are they gonna do it with Aquaman 2? Are they gonna do it with Shazam 2? I don't know. Are they gonna do it with the Suicide Squad? Which, by the way, that trailer is pretty fantastic. So if you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's just it's insane. I don't. Clearly, it's the same old story that nobody has a grasp on what to do here. My only concern really is, well, we already know the big movies are going to happen. We know we're going to get Black Adam and the Justice Society. Maybe that's how they're going to reboot this whole thing. They're like, well, Justice League didn't work, even though it was their fault. So we'll try Justice Society with Black Adam. We'll see how that works. That one is anybody's guess. And I'm assuming that's going to tie into the things happening with Shazam 2. But again, anybody's guess. I have no idea what we're going to get out of the Suicide Squad. I'm excited for it, though. And then, there's still word that we're going to get a third Wonder Woman movie with Patty and Gal that's going to close out that trilogy. But I'll be honest with you, I was really bummed out after Wonder Woman 84. Like, I did not enjoy it at all. It is madness. It's all madness. It's not even a multiverse of madness. That's on the other side. It's just, yeah, it's insane, man. I don't even understand what the Trench movie was going to be. If you remember Aquaman, you remember those Lovecraftian creatures that attacked them? That was like, the Trench was a separate kingdom of exiles that were like started like morphed into weird like fish monsters. That's the Trench. I don't know how you make a movie about that. They don't even talk in the movies. In the comics, they have their own language, but you can't understand them. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get why that movie even was greenlit. Whatever. I'm sure there's a fun little horror movie you could probably make out of it. I mean, it's James Wan producing, and that dude knows horror. But I just don't understand why you would do it. Why would you make a Trench movie without Aquaman? Because Aquaman wasn't going to be in it. So was it going to be about Garth, like Aqualad? I don't want to see that. Was it going to be a Mara story with Amber Heard? I definitely don't want to see that. She's trash. I can't wait till she gets recast. But I am bummed about New Gods because I was looking forward to seeing how that was going to translate uh onto film. And I would hesitate to say, but I would think it would be like think of how weird Guardians of the Galaxy was. And what made that work is it was so weird, but it was comedic. And then you throw in the action on top of it and you blend it all together. Well written, it works. I would imagine it would have followed close to the same formula, but less comedic because it's really hard to make the New Gods funny. And I don't think you need to make the New Gods funny at all. But I don't know. Uh, Christy says on Wonder Woman 84, big snore. She rhymed. Bars. Yeah, unfortunately, big snore, and I was really upset about that because I wanted to love that thing so much. There are certain parts of that movie that I really enjoy. Um, but the movie as a whole, not so much. You know what really bums me out about Wonder Woman 84? The score. Like Hans Zimmer did the score and it is so forgettable. Like, how do you the only thing that's not forgettable is when he busts out that Wonder Woman theme that he did for Batman vs Superman when she shows up, that they included in her solo movie, that Rupert Gregson Williams, he utilized that theme, that motif, and then created a score around that, and that score is great. And they brought him back to do Aquaman as well, which even I love that score. So I usually love what Hans Zimmer does, but Wonder Woman 84, I couldn't even tell you 3 notes from from the score he did. It's so forgettable and just not it's just boring like the rest of the movie. But yeah, it's just me. I know a lot of people loved it, and that's fine. But mm. So yeah, in my opinion, I would have thought New Gods would probably be like less jokey Guardians with way more serious villains. Um, and we probably would have gotten a lot more of like who and what Dark Side is, for all the people not in the know. Because I'm sure there was a lot of people watching the Snyder Cut going, I don't know who Darkseid is, but he seems like the big bad, but I don't know anything about him. And I figured New Gods would probably shed a lot of light on that, but also introduce you to the fourth world, which I'm not even going to attempt to explain to you here because there are things that even I don't understand about it. And I've been reading comics for a long time. So I'm not even going to try. Zack tried in the Snyder Cut. He tried really hard to make you believe the fourth world stuff was intense and crazy and serious. And I think in some way he succeeded, and then a lot of way he probably just confused the shit out of people. But if you know, you know. So yeah, there's that. There's a lot you could probably have edited from the Snyder Cut to make it not so long, but I get why it was the length that it was. So it is what it is. Now it exists. Now it's out there, and now I would really trust and hope that other executives would, keep an eye out. Not to be bullied by people on Twitter, but just that, hey, maybe we should not be so hasty as to fire directors just because some of the things they're doing is not something we agree with. Directors do that all the time. Directors have to fight for their movies constantly. Say what you will about him, but Francis Ford Coppola had to fight tooth and nail for Godfather 1 to be the way it was. He had to fight tooth and nail just to cast Al Pacino as Michael because the studio did not want him. He had to fight tooth and nail to keep Brando on because Brando was not he was kind of a liability at that point. And you can say what you want about Brando. I've got a lot to say about him as well, and it is what it is. All I'm saying is sometimes directors really have to fight to keep the vision. And this movie is a perfect example of why maybe you shouldn't mess with it. You could still probably hate the movie, but it's a lot better of a story than we got in the theatrical version. And again, my opinion, maybe you love the theatrical version. Maybe you don't mind it. And that's cool. I personally did not. So, anywho. So, what else? What else is it seemed like I went through that real quick. I mean, I part of me really wants to rant about the the trouble going on in my neck of the woods with a local venue, but I feel like that's probably chat for another time. All I'm saying is, if you enjoy live music and if you really want to help keep venues going when it's safe, then be sure and show your support. Be sure and absolutely do everything you can in your power to make sure that these places stay open and that the musicians that play get their due, because it's hard out there. So that's what that's all I'll say about that. And if this particular local venue closes down, I might cry. All right, so I kind of skipped through a lot of the chat. Let's see. Jeff says, "Eat hearty, Justice League. For tonight, you dine in apocalypse." You have to do it in the best Gerard Butler. Here we go. "Eat hearty, Justice League. For tonight, you dine in apocalypse." That's not a good Gerard Butler, but you get it. Mariano says, "Give us The Devil Wears Prada 2. Te Prada no bada you care." No, thank you. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I might be one of the few that am just not a fan of that movie. And it's not that I don't enjoy a good rom-com, but it's just just not a fan of that particular Streep film. Speaking of Mariano, he is opening up Kingdom Come, and is that a Batarang in front of you?
I'm sorry. I'm busy reading my comic books. How are you?
Oh, you've got the wrong Superman up there, but that's okay.
Okay, so we have to talk about your gatekeeping first. We do.
My gatekeeping?
Okay. Yeah, your gatekeeping.
Oh,
because
go ahead.
For you to sit there and say that you have the wrong Superman up there, they're all the right Superman.
That was
they're
joke,
all the right Superman,
and you know that. Yes, you're right. They are. They are.
No, this is the dive. We rant. I'm here to rant. I'm not a maniac. I'm that man. How are you?
I'm great.
No, I think. Look, you're talking Snyder tonight. I'm interested. I buy in on his vision.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I buy in on his vision. I think 100%. You're right. When you say he nailed it, you're right. Right? Like he nailed it. Say what you will about the last half hour or whatever, but setting stuff up, the stuff that he did, the storytelling he did, for me, it was a great 3.5 hour movie.
Right. Yeah.
Then there was like stuff that my biggest critique of Zack is Zack doesn't edit Zack well. Right. And I mean, he doesn't edit well, but he doesn't edit his own story well.
I would agree with that for the most part. Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we could have lost somewhere between a half hour to an hour of the movie. And I think it would have been a tighter, better movie.
Absolutely.
Right.
Do you agree that if he had cut the slow-mo, it would have no, like a 30-minute cut?
I'm not picking on the slow-mo. I'm really not. Right. Like that's his aesthetics. I have no problem with it. But my issue is that when we want to pick on Trash Reading, right? And I don't mind for picking on him for all the right reasons.
Right.
He came in the 11th hour and was asked to get a movie out by a deadline without the special effects budget, without the support, without anything, and to basically make it jokier and make it more like Marvel. That's what he was asked to do. That's why he was hired. to pick on him for those reasons is kind of silly because he didn't even get to do his script, his cast, his anything. I don't look at that as his movie. I look at that as the Warner execs movie.
That is 100% fair, and I will amend my earlier statement.
Yeah.
Yes. That said, I don't agree with the choices Joss made, even though he was put under the deadline.
I don't, but to compare his part of a movie or whatever to Zack's whole movie or most of a movie that Zack was able to accomplish, I don't think is a fair comparison. And Zack was also given an extra $70 million of budget to get it to where it got to, which was great.
That is true,
right? But let's factor. Let's call it what it is, right? Like Zack got his vision. Zack got to make essentially an independent movie by a studio, which was great, which never happens, and hopefully will never happen again. Because I think that will kill independent cinema. And that's my biggest concern with a lot of this. Is the reason why George Lucas left the studio system to make Star Wars was because the studios weren't willing to make it, and he figured out a way. And
that's true, yeah. And the irony of that is he gave birth to the new wave of big budget like studio.
But you say the irony of that, but we're not going to get that if we're going to keep doing Snyderverse sort of things from a studio standpoint. Let's Zack go make his movie with his characters and his vision independently. Let me see that.
Mm-hmm. And and again, let me reiterate, this whole brand new movement of restore the Snyderverse. Like, I don't agree with it at all, because I think that's going to do more harm than good. And frankly, even if we could scream into the void that we want to restore the Snyderverse, come back, Zack. Zack's not coming back. He did his thing. He got to make the movie he wanted to make. And he had such a bad experience doing all of that, with personal tragedy, not to mention the execs and everything.
You know what I want to see from Zack next?
Yes. Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
So he has for those that don't know, he has a new I think is it a show or is it a movie on Netflix?
It's a movie starring Dave Bautista and zombies. And Dave Bautista is going to Bautista bomb zombies, and I'm here for it.
McGee, this is the production meeting, didn't you know? So glad you could join us. Zack is going back to his roots, so to speak. Zack, if you guys also didn't know, did the remake of Dawn of the Dead, which is actually really great. I maintain is probably one of the better remakes of cinema.
I still feel that is Zack Snyder's best movie.
A lot of people do, and I actually rewatched it recently, and I went, I'm not going to argue with anybody who says it, because it really is fantastic. Written by James Gunn, funny enough, for those that didn't know. And there's McGee. McGee has entered the chat. McGee, tell us, all eyes on you now. How do you feel about the Snyder Cut? You just don't know how to have fun in this group.
I haven't watched it yet. I was too busy watching Tiny Cranky Face.
No, that's true. Yeah, well, as I said, I'm not mad at that Batmobile either. Although it's not my number one favorite Batmobile, but it is up there.
You like the Batmobile with that ass.
McGee feels like the Tim Burton Batmobile looks like an ass.
It's got some badonk.
Which
well, here's my issue. I went into a comic book shop, and like there were all of these comic books of like the same characters, but they all look different. There were different artists drawing them.
Yeah.
And I think we need to get rid of all that bullshit, and they all need to look the same. They all need to be the same story. There was this fucking shit called Elseworlds that didn't have anything to do with anything else. Throw that garbage in the trash.
Elseworlds
just all needs to be. It all needs to have one writer, one artist, one vision.
Exactly. The Vision. Marvel Comics. Great book. But yes, Jeff is being facetious, but he's bringing up a very good point. So
I don't know what that means, but yes.
Facetious.
He's talking about your feces.
Well,
we can do that.
I wasn't doing that.
Welcome to Friday Night Scat Chat.
John, put that down. You're going to give the fanboys stupid ideas. Stop it.
Whoa. What the?
Yeah, man, crossovers. They happen in comics and stuff.
I have Darkseid versus Thanos. Who wants to know who wins?
So what you're telling me is Sony and Universal gave up their rights to the Hulk and Spider-Man, so Warner's could make them into the movie.
Correct.
This is just like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, by the way.
I have seen the fight against like Thanos and Darkseid like three different times.
Yeah, have you seen this?
And they all have different.
Have you seen this?
Is that Gem?
I haven't, and she does look like
yes,
Gem.
yes.
Let me guess.
This is Darkseid versus Gem.
Phoenix somehow overcomes him.
Or Transformers and Mask in there.
No GD sense, but whatever.
It all depends. In the end, all these people shake hands.
Well, yeah, that's good. Look at that. Look at Scott Summers shaking the hands of Dick Grayson. You gotta love it. I love it.
Scott loves Dick.
Look, you know what?
Yeah, who doesn't?
You're making a joke, but let me tell you something. This is something that the movies and everything else need to listen up. If y'all don't put some respect, nice. If you execs don't put some respect on Scott Summers, not me, but I know a whole group of people are gonna burn you to the ground. Because look, Scott Summers.
Well, that seems like a bit of an overreaction to.
Well, you say that, but have you ever been on Twitter, McGee? I'm just saying. Well, there tweet tagular people out there sending death threats to Wyatt Russell just because, like, you're not my Captain America, you fucker. It's like, oh my God, stop! Like, stop! All of you, stop!
Johnny, help! I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Wyatt Russell is?
No.
Wyatt Russell
is Goldie Hawn's son.
And Kurt Russell's.
Goldie
really?
Hawn.
I did not know that.
Goldie Hawn doesn't get enough credit in that. She gave birth to the child.
She did. But unfortunately, he has the face of Kurt, so it's kind of hard to ignore.
I am sorry. What is unfortunate about that face?
No, I'm just saying we need to respect the fact that Goldie Hawn birthed him, but it's hard to ignore the fact that he is Kurt's son because, the chin.
No, wait. First of all, he doesn't have Kurt's chin. He might have Kurt's chin or whatever, but he has Goldie's mouth. It's weird. It's a weird combo.
Is that going to be your next horse's name on Red Dead Redemption?
Is that why when he talks, he always sounds like he has a dip in? Because I never got that from Goldie before. Interesting.
Has a what in?
A dip, tobacco.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't. He just has this like protrusion, like and
like a what? Lip. What was the noise?
Like a protrusion from his lip.
Can we get that?
This is another show, I think.
No. Yeah. Oh, I was about to bust out some Master P. Anyway, what were we talking about? So, we're not going to get New Gods. And that's
speaking of New Gods.
What does that mean?
That's the Hulk punching Superman in the chest.
Well, I thought these were connected. John made it sound connected.
No, I feel like that. What does it say on there?
Only in Marvel are they all connected.
I feel like it should have said "whoo."
Whoo! Hey, fanboys, keep your pants on.
Oh, look at that.
I thought Spider-Man was short.
He is short. Look at him.
I thought Superman would be taller.
Superman's only 6'2.5" on a good day. How do
you know that?
Because Henry Cavill's 6'2.5".
And Mark, you on my shoulders, we're still combined, not 6'2.5".
No, we're not. I am not a tall man. Can I
see that anyway?
We can.
I'll get you a trench coat.
Yes.
No,
I have one. I have one. We can do this.
A tall enough one?
I do. I have an oversized one.
Get us a giant white coat and we'll be world's giant doctor.
Giant doctor.
We're definitely going to do this.
I'm so excited. That's what I'm here for, fellas.
We'll do this and we'll
but the difference is I'm getting on Mark's shoulders.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, like, well, we could flip a coin, but
you're younger. You're definitely the legs.
Well, I definitely have. I never skip leg day.
Who has nicer legs? That's what I want to see peeking out of the trench coat.
Well, by nicer, do you mean more tone or paler, because I might give him a run for his money on pale.
I haven't seen the sun in 3 years.
Mine are pretty pale.
You know what? Well, but my thighs haven't seen the sun since last
Yo,
summer.
this is a trench coat. Why are your thighs showing?
Can I see your thighs?
Why wouldn't they be showing?
This is like from the slit, like you're popping your thigh out of the trench coat slit.
You can absolutely see my thighs when you contribute to the right tier on our patronizer. You all can, and not only that, I will dance.
I don't like you hoarding
Return of
money
the
on
Mac.
my channel.
Well, this is my show, so I'm gonna.
Oh, speaking of cannonballs.
We were talking about cannonballs.
Cannonballs.
The cannonball, like Wolverine's cannonball.
Cannonballs.
Was that a day at the pool?
Hey,
No, Wolverine's cannonball is literally Colossus throwing him.
So not a barbecue activity.
I mean,
It's
it
not-
could be at a barbecue, and if a sentinel attacks.
Was that the Mutant Summer Fun Edition?
Yes,
Excellent.
we'll go with that.
Wolverine in a bathing suit. Yeah.
So hairy.
Yeah.
He's a very hairy man, that Wolverine. That's one thing. There you go. Jeff was complaining. Like Wolverine is universally drawn pretty much the same for the decades he's been around.
There's a very
Hairy.
problematic picture in here.
So you don't mess with Burley.
I'm not what.
I need you to look at this.
I'm not what.
Short.
Short. I am short. You know that I'm
What,
short.
what are we seeing, John?
Yeah, I'm
I
trying to
see
get to
Commissioner Gordon that looks strangely like J.K. Simmons and Batman.
Wait, I'm trying to get to the corner. Wait.
That's actually, I wonder, was that the model they used?
Wait a minute. He's wearing his regular face and his Batman mask, and then someone else's face mask over his Batman mask. Like, how did that whole ear part work out? Go back a panel.
You see, McGee, let me explain Batman things to you.
Oh, go ahead. Mansplain Batman to me. Go ahead.
He's gonna
Wait
bat.
a minute.
I'm gonna Batman-splain to you.
Batman's.
The ears full.
Oh, so then you just had like almost forehead wrinkles?
Wasn't it
Can't do
you that
this.
posted that picture of like the side by side of the Batman ears and then like they were drooping on the other one?
It's possible I posted.
I think that was you, or it was someone I know. I don't know, but yeah, that. Anywho,
I'm suspicious of this.
you're just a suspicious person by nature.
I just don't think that comic's very realistic. Is all. I take issue with it.
You take issue with
Yeah,
the comic.
You got it. No, this is terrible.
McGee got puns, you guys. Hashtag McGee got puns.
That's a terrible hashtag.
Well, they all can't be as good as, the things you come up with when you would listen to our show.
Speaking of hashtags, we have pants tomorrow. Did we talk about that?
I haven't because the show's not yet over yet. But since we're all here, or most of us are
Since
We're
it's
not
a
all
production
here.
meeting.
No, we
Yeah,
can't
we're
have
not
a
all
production
here.
meeting yet.
Somebody's missing.
Where's
You can't-
Daddy?
When somebody's missing, you can't have a production meeting.
You're right,
And that's the problem.
That's why this is
Problem
not
is,
a production meeting.
When you show up to a production meeting and some people aren't there, you can't have one. So right now we're not having one because somebody's missing.
I was told this was a production meeting. I believe it was on air. Somebody said, yes, this is the production meeting. So here I am.
Where did
It was just a way to see if we could get you to show up, and oops, we got it. We
Oh,
got
I
you.
fell for the cheese like a rat. What the fuck?
Wow, McGee just called herself a rat. Don't tell her no secrets. Anyway, yeah. Hey, you guys, the pants panel. We are returning tomorrow, and it wouldn't be a pants panel without the entire pants panel. And there he is, production extraordinaire, Thomas Risling.
Best dressed.
Best dressed, yes, always. And so
Is
here
this-
we are.
This is the meeting, right?
I guess it is now.
Hi.
So here-
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate it.
Of course. So here we are. Yeah. As this I guess will be the tease for people. We are coming back to you live with the pants panel. Are we wearing pants? We're coming back tomorrow, actually.
We are.
Yes.
It's been too long.
It has been. We are now entering April, the false spring. And we have not asked the question, are we wearing pants yet? So finally, after a long hiatus, we have returned.
We're not actually about to run down our whole show tomorrow, are we?
No.
I feel like we should not do that.
I thought we were having a production meeting.
But if we're live on a show, maybe no.
No.
I appreciate your
What?
want and drive to get the meeting done here, but
You told me to be ready for the production meeting. I brought notes.
I brought notes.
Yeah, the notes are brought. And
I brought props.
anywho,
I read the notes.
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's the super big announcement that I forgot to tease at the beginning of the show, but make no mistake, I was going to get to it at the end, but here we are. So we are bringing back the pants panel for tomorrow, so be sure to tune into that. We will send out all the links. You'll see all the things. You will be present. And if you're not present,
Mark,
you'll watch it afterwards. Yes, John, what can I do for you?
I have a question.
Please ask me.
Okay. I showed up to the production meeting, and then I showed
did.
up to your show, and we talked about DC, and then I showed up to the second production meeting with the notes. Do I win the points?
Well, it's your game, so I guess if you win the points, you win the points.
Not my
So-
game. I showed up to literally everything I promised to show up to tonight. Do I win the points?
We
Is that
should
how it
set up we should set up an FTM bingo card because if you're playing along at home, John mentioning points, that there you go, mark that one.
Thomas, do I win the points?
I mean, by that metric, yes.
So there it is. So
Okay, cool. I'm gonna.
I mean, I
show
feel
you
like
now
this
because
is.
I'm done.
You know what this is? This is that scene in Big Daddy where they're playing. I can't remember what they're playing, and he's like, "Because I win," and he just puts down the
That's
cards.
the name of the game. I
That's the
win.
name of the game. I win.
it says
I
the
have
name of the game is I
cards.
win.
Wait, I have cards. You mentioned
have
cards. I
cards.
have cards.
I made
they-
cards.
Are they against humanity?
No.
Oh no, they're
Batman
Batman
Returns.
cards. I had those cards. I have no idea what happened to them, and
Oh,
now
Mark
I'm
just
really
popped a
upset that I
chub.
don't know where they're.
I have Batman Returns. See, it's DC, so I win double points.
Where are those cards?
I have cards.
Wait, and I made Mark feel bad. Triple points.
I have greeting cards.
What is
You already
that?
won the points. Why do you need to have all the? Is that?
I have Von Erich cards.
Oh,
Show that to
I was about-
Thomas.
For a hot second, I was
Thomas!
like, "It's one of those Marty Jannetty," but like, no, those are the Von Erichs. Thomas is doing work.
I am sorry. The why are we looking at the Von Erichs?
Oh, we were just showing our
Because Jeff
cards.
has them.
Oh, do you have trading cards, the Von Erichs? Do you have any idea how valuable those probably are, Jeff?
It's probably why he's got them like sealed.
Who wants
Yeah,
to
they're not
buy
really.
them?
So yeah.
They're cheap little cardboard cutouts.
Oh man.
I was like, oh my god. So you should go get that.
Yeah.
raised.
When I ordered them on eBay, I thought there were going to be more too.
Mm. Well, what the shame.
I'm gonna go back to watching the show I was watching before I got on here. Is that okay?
I have no idea what you just said, but okay.
A solo movie that Rupert Gregson Williams he utilized that theme, that
That's what I was
motif,
listening
and
to
then
before I
created a
got on the
score
show.
around that, and that score is great.
I
And they
agree with
brought
that
it
voice.
to Aquaman as well, which even
Can I go back to watching that? Are we done with all the meetings?
This is weird.
Yeah, you can go back to watching that weird.
Meeting adjourned.
Never.
You ruined the surprise for the end of the show. But hey, it is what it is. Also, if you're playing bingo, the crew interrupting the show, mark it. It's there. So that's a face. Yikes. Put that on a shirt so we can scare the neighborhood children.
So I can take it off.
Yeah. So actually, make a shirt for this one because she'll get a kick out of it. Anywho,
I love that score. So I usually love what Hans Zimmer does, but Wonder Woman 84, I couldn't even tell you 3 notes
nope.
from
Couldn't do it.
the score he did. It's so forgettable and just not. It's just boring. Like
I'm sure there's an A and an F sharp and a G in there. That's all I got. Oh God. Oh,
Oh no. What happened?
Putting the kibosh on that. No. No, sir. You're just not.
I'm so confused and so lost.
As are we all, Jeff. As are we all. That's a. You're breaking the fourth wall. This is the show now, so I'm super glad everyone who did tuned into this, because this is the show now. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Just don't know what to say. McGee is gone. She's gone. So, anywho, well, that. And another thing. Nice. Yeah. With on that note, that's really all I had to say on the time tonight.
All right.
So there it is. Yes, be sure to check out our D&D campaign. You'll see that handsome devil. And make sure to piss in lakes, not rivers. We're trying to clean them. And if you can figure that one out, go ahead. Send us your best theories. We would love to hear them. Who is Professor Sasquatch? And then that's just fun for everybody. it's I'll be honest, the more and more I see it, the more horrifying it gets. Jesus. But look, if you want to
on the last splash.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's really I've got nothing to contribute to that. So thank you for joining. Be sure to check out the pants panel tomorrow right here on the YouTube channel. It's gonna be a real gas, as they used to say in the 40s, 50s. Who cares? Yeah. So thanks for joining the dive. Bye, everybody.